This morning, an old problem for a new coalition. Should they ban the hate preacher Zakir Naik from entering Britain? He's urged every Muslim to be a terrorist, by the way. Thank you kindly. Hello and welcome to our Bank Holiday Monday edition of The Right Stuff. I'm Matthew Wright. It's the 31st of May. Here's what you can expect on this morning's show. First up, we're going to find out if the panel thinks we should bar a radical hate preacher from entering Britain. Zakir Naik thinks George Bush was the architect of 9/11. All Muslims should be terrorists and women in short skirts are asking for it. So should the Cam-Clegg coalition overturn Gordon Brown's decision to give Naik a visa? After the break, though, when he was in opposition, David Cameron slammed Gordon Brown for leaving the door open to preachers of hate. So will our new PM rescind the visa Brown's lot offered Zakir Naik, who wants every Muslim to be a terrorist and is due to start talking in this country from next month? We'll hear what these guys think after the break.
So how many religious extremists have been barred from entering the UK in the last 5 years? The answer is 79.
Thanks so much. So, since the government brought in new legislation to crack down on fanatics, some 230 people have been banned from entering the UK, including 79 radical preachers, one of them being Omar Bakri Mohammed, who praised the 9/11 hijackers, calling them the Magnificent 19. You're watching Monday's Right Stuff with Gail Porter, Russell Kane and DJ Ironic. DJ Ironic's going to have the rest of today's headlines for you just after the next break. But first, I want to know what these guys think. Should David Cameron rescind a visa his predecessor offered radical Islamic preacher Dr. Zakir Naik? Right Stuff at 5.tv is the place for your thoughts. Naik is due to preach to thousands of followers at arenas in Wembley, Birmingham, Sheffield from next month. And he believes it's his duty, and every other Muslim's, to wipe out negative views of Islam created by the 9/11 terror attacks. Which I probably agree with. But he does it by claiming the hijacked planes were coordinated not by Osama bin Laden but by George W. Bush. And confusingly, Naik's also praised Osama for attacking American targets, as well as calling on all Muslims to become terrorists themselves. In addition, he believes anyone who changes religion should be executed, while Western women only have themselves to blame if they get raped and they're all wearing short skirts. Now, Naik has spoken in the UK before, 4 years ago, and was subsequently branded a hate monger by Tory MP David Davies. And yet, despite Home Office rules barring anyone likely to promote extremist views from entering Britain, the last government gave him a visa because they didn't think he'd cause trouble. And now, despite Cameron's attacks on us opening the door to hate preachers when he was in opposition, Home Office sources suggest nothing will be done to bar Naik from entering the UK. So the question, Russell, has to be, should it?
Well, the thing that makes me nervous is when these guys get so much oxygen when we turn them away at the border. We should either turn them away silently, or I'm a big fan with just listening to what these people have got to say in a wider forum. Then we can all laugh at how ridiculous they are. This guy's called Truth Twister, which sounds like a great R&B name, by the way. And, you know, it's like Nick Griffin. Everyone's like, oh, we can't allow Nick Griffin on Question Time. If we allow Nick Griffin on Question Time, the BNP will get in power. And as soon as he was on Question Time, we all found him hilarious and he lost the vote. A man so right-wing that even his eye has turned slightly to the right. And, you know, I think the trick with these guys is to open up a proper debate. Instead of going, if we don't listen to it, it will go away. Because British people are like a bouncy castle. If you squash down, we just bounce up at the other end, right wing, left wing. And I'd rather see him sat there now and we all have a right go at him and hear what he has to say. And I guarantee most people would find him ridiculous.
What if, I mean, there have been some people claiming that terrorists have studied under him. I mean, these are claims. I don't know how truthful they are or not. So if you then have an apparently tangible connection between him and terror attacks, do we still, I mean...
No, not at all. But I bet the key there is the word tangible rather than someone claiming it. There should be a healthy debate. We should have freedom of speech both from people like us that hate, and then people... I mean, if you say
that at the same time we have Swedish cartoonists that live in fear of being executed for expressing their art, their views in cartoons. OK, that's not in this country, but I am not allowed to show those cartoons on this show, so I cannot have a free debate because I have to respect the wishes of others.
But they might genuinely incite hatred. No one's actually proved. I mean, this is the Daily Mail online, remember? Not there's anything
wrong. That's the version you have, to be fair. It's in every newspaper.
But I think if you suppress people too much, it fetishises them. Go, what else don't we know about them? And then people that might be a bit nutty or on the real extremist edge think, I'm going to find out more about this guy. Exactly the same happened with the BNP before we gave them the oxygen. to starve themselves.
Gail, would you shut the door?
We're letting him in. You know, Nick Griffin lives here, and
true.
that's, you know, unfortunate.
Actually, he lives in Wales, which is hilarious. England for the English. I'm off to Wales.
But, you know, so he's here. So ideally,
it's the British National Party. So.
Ideally, I wouldn't like someone like that coming in. I know that people have got freedom of speech, but like you said, I wouldn't want to let someone into the country to incite any sort of hatred whatsoever, and I don't think he should be allowed in, personally.
If he is inciting hatred, he might just have views that we don't like. No one's actually proved or.
Well, the views that you said already, I mean, are completely ridiculous. And why should he be coming in to like, you know, encourage other people to have this train of thought?
For example, Sinn Féin members come into the country who, at various times, have effectively, they've certainly not condemned violence towards others. DJ Ironic, do you think there's a case to be made for barring this guy from entering the country?
Yeah, definitely, man. Like Gail said, you know, freedom of speech is all good, but coming to the country and promoting terrorism is not really the best of things to do. So, yeah, I definitely think, you know, he should be barred from coming in the country, yeah.
Even though we've let him in before? I mean, this is the other issue I've got. So 4 years ago he was OK, maybe the rules have changed.
We've got a new government, we've got new, you know, things.
Did anything happen last time he came here? Was there loads of controversy?
There was some controversy, but there were louder hate preachers around at the time, so he was I wouldn't say he was a minnow, but he's Indian-based, and I think in India he was recently rated, I think, the 82nd most influential Indian in the country. So he's got a powerful base back at home. Wow. I think Russell probably hit the nail on the head right at the beginning, that the people that want to bring him over have got something of a reputation for getting a lot of press attention.
They'll be rubbing their hands together today with us discussing this and this in the papers. The job's done whether he comes in or not.
But equally, you can't ignore such an issue either.
No,
so
no, absolutely.
We're trapped in the middle. Love to know your thoughts. Should David Cameron bar Zakir Naik from entering this country? Write stuff at 5.tv. That's the place for your thoughts.